Tom, should we get transfer news out of the way first of all? When it sounds like Asprilla is off, is that confirmed?
It's not confirmed, no. It's like anything in football, it's not confirmed till it is confirmed. He's a player that continues to train well, of a high standard with us, and he's not been a burden on the environment. He's a player that I'll continue not to use. One, for his health, but two, I want the players that are fully committed and focused. And so yeah, that one is the furthest down the line out of the potential outgoings, but it's definitely not confirmed yet.
Anyone else? What's the future with Hoedt? Is that still sound like he's going to be here?
Wes is a little bit more uncertain. Where's his future, and that's something that I'll sort of pick up again next week after the weekend's fixture. Last week I think I said that I'd be more confident he stays. Maybe that balance has tipped a little bit, but again, no real news on that one until there's more. Sort of, yeah, I can confirm something really.
Players in. There's been Jefferson's obviously the one that's been linked. Rumours about that. Any news on him?
Yeah, you don't like to comment too much on other people's players. I understand that that everyone's got games this weekend, and you don't want to sort of speak out of turn. But we're close on a couple of players. One at the top end of the pitch that you've got you know the name, and another one a centre back that we're really close on as well. So both players would come in and improve the squad. But add something that we maybe haven't got. Both got pace. I'm not saying we've not got pace, but they're both quick, physical players. And yeah, but again, I'm not naive enough to say that they're super close until they're confirmed.
And would that be it then, if that was to happen, or do you see that there could be more ins?
Hopefully there'll be no more outs, because. Yeah, I think we're in a really good moment at the minute. The squad's got a really good feel about it. Potentially there could be one more in, but let's get Derby out the way first, or let's focus on Derby, should I say, and then try and be productive in the market next week.
But you can't wait till September the 1st, can you?
Yeah, as long as the business that we're all working towards has happened, then yeah, I'll be. I think my workload will fall significantly once that window shuts and get back to the most enjoyable part of the job.
It feels like things are happening everywhere now. It seems to have taken until now for it all to kind of start really beginning.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm very new to this experience, but I'm sure that in tournament years it is slower than usual. There's always that domino effect of the pre-season tours that the big clubs go on. And yeah, it's really starting to kick into action now. I'm sure the last 10 days will be active.
What's the training camp like at the moment? Must be buzzing, mustn't it?
Yeah, and it's my job to make sure there's no complacency about this feeling that we've got at the minute. We want to stay in this moment, and to do that you have to be really disciplined in the basics, in your high standards, because that's where you grow consistency. Okay, we've got quality in the squad, but the first things first is you make sure you're hard to beat, and that's where consistency really grows.
Squad-wise, is everyone okay from the weekend?
One change where Jeremy Ngaki will be a doubt for the weekend, that'll be a late consideration, and yeah, hopefully it's nothing too serious, because he's someone who's working really hard to sort of shrug off his injury problems, but he'll be a doubt for the weekend.
He's done a job there, hasn't he? He's obviously right-sided and he's had to play on the left-hand side, but he's done okay. Obviously the balance is better with a left footer, but...
Yeah, you say that. I actually quite like the unpredictable nature of playing a right footer out there. I think if you play two wing backs, one right, one left, okay, yes, at times it's going to be that way, but sometimes you can be all right. They're going to go wide and they're going to go down the outside. There's a predictable nature to that. So sometimes I do like the balance that Jeremy offers of being able to get the ball wide and he can go inside or out. So it's not a fluke that we've put him there, or it's not to do a job, because we had Ken Sema available to play there as well. And I thought Jeremy's done more than a job. I thought he's been excellent.
Luruzzi, when he came on, also very much did a job, didn't he? He showed great signs.
Yes, it's an exciting one, you know. He's come in, he's played about 70 minutes of football, he's got 2 assists, he's been involved in a lot of good play, and he's seems a really good character. It's one that the early signs are very good.
What about Porteous? Is he okay? He had a bit of illness last weekend.
Yeah, he shrugged that off. It was just more a precautionary one last weekend, and he'll be available for selection Saturday.
The way that back three did on Saturday, though, it's great news for you. He's going to find it really difficult to break into that team. Yeah,
it's credit to where the squad's at the minute. It's the lads who are not playing are ready to, one, they're learning the role and what we expect and what we're coaching, and two, that once called upon, they're absolutely ready, and that's the sign of a really strong, healthy squad environment, and we've got, and hopefully that respect amongst each other continues because they are winning environments.
Must be happy at both ends, keeping clean sheets and attacking wise, creating lots of chances.
Yeah, again, never to be too complacent, because you're never too far away in this game for that all to turn on its head. So double down on the high standards, double down on the messages that we're delivering every day. But it's nice to see that a lot of our work on the training pitch is coming out on a Saturday, and long may that continue.
Interesting, the atmosphere Saturday, because fans for the first time in a long while might be turning up just expecting to win. Derby having just been promoted, you obviously started the season well, but we all know that football doesn't work that way.
Exactly, and we have to, every game we have to work like the underdog. So I don't know what the bookmakers' odds will be, but we have to work like underdogs, and I said that to the players after the Gillingham game, and certainly after the Wickham game in pre-season. I wasn't happy with how we got sort of out-muscled or a little bit hungrier than us. Credit where credit's due, that the players have put that right. I think our ratio in duels for the first two games has been very good, and you can say against Millwall side that's renowned for winning first and second contacts, I think we've dominated in that area in both games, and that's why I will always drum on to the players about the basics. The basics are what make you hard to beat in this league.
What's Jeremy done?
So it's just a slight muscle problem. So it's going to be a late decision on him, but it's our only change of medical news in the last week.
Just going back to Jefferson and Kevin, are they players you've had in mind for a long time? It's not that you've sort of chanced upon them in the last week.
Yeah, so we identified our targets really early in the window. Pretty much straight after the Middlesbrough game, the last game of last season, and then you work towards trying to execute that. It's been a bit of a moving landscape at times, but these the two players that I respect. I think they can add to us, and like I said, I don't want to speak out of turn until the Watford plays.
Looking at what you're bringing in, you still only got the one left-footed centre back, other than perhaps James Morris, who can do a job. Is that in your mind that you might need to cover?
I think centre-back is a position that we need strength in numbers, yeah. Whether it's left-footed, I was really pleased to see that James Morris could be an option there. He gives us great balance. He's intelligent, he's always in the right position, and he's got fantastic distribution, so ticks a lot of boxes. I don't think he would be an option in a back two as the left-sided centre-back, but in a three, he's emerged as a more than capable option, and so that maybe he's answered our problems there. That doesn't mean that we're not going to try and bring in another centre back, and depending on outgoings, it might be two.
With players like James and Tommy, we've seen players who were maybe on the fringe have suddenly come to the fore and look refreshed. Is that something that you've done behind the scenes, or is it just because they feel they've got a clean slate?
No, I don't want to say that it's been absolute rocket science from my staff. You get that new manager bounce of everyone's got a point to prove again, and I think we've got a great environment at the minute. We have to work hard to keep that, but it's a credit to the players who have come in, their training standards, the way they're supporting the other players, and the way that they're ready to perform to a very high level when asked upon.
One thing that's been noticeable, certainly in the second half last week, you've got your way you want to play, but you're prepared to tweak or maybe change bits during the game, whereas maybe in past seasons we've had plan A and that's been it. Is that, again, something you're happy to do, is to be fluid within what you want to try and achieve?
Yeah, I think there's you come up against so many different challenges. It's not always the right one solution solves every puzzle. So we've got different ways. We've got great substitutes to bring on to change the pace or intensity or the style of a game. And I think we've got a good staff to be able to adapt. Now, I'm not counting my chickens by any means. There's going to be times where we do come unstuck, but right now we're all working towards and we're preparing for pretty much every scenario that can happen in 90 minutes of football. And so far we've had the answers.
We've had our best goal scoring start at home for 40 odd years. Last season we couldn't buy a win. That must really please you, because that was, I know, was one of your targets for this season. Yeah.
Like I said, when we came in last year, it was a case of we really tightened the team up, but we lost a bit of attacking productivity in balancing that out. Now, the part of the pre-season was to try and sway that the other way without losing the balance. We probably went too far the other way, and we hit a sweet spot around the Brentford game where against a Premier League team we did well, and then we've hit the ground running in the season. It's one of those things, these stats. I think you're only 2 or 3 games away from the stats going the other way. So I'll always bang on about doubling down on high standards. You're at your most vulnerable when you're in these moments, I think, and you can't take this feeling for granted, and we certainly won't be.
With the home form, would you say it's got to be collective with the fans as well? Because there's often that question of what should start first, the crowd lifting the team or the team lifting the fans. We've had 2 good home games, but the fans have got to keep that rolling with us.
Yeah, I think we can do it together, but I'll always demand that the players are the catalyst for that. Some games that it will be a bit of a stalemate and we'll need time to break down opposition, and that's when we'll really need them to egg us on and get us over the line, and I'm sure they will. But from my end, it'll always be my demand on the players to be the catalyst for that atmosphere within our stadium, and we're in a good moment at home. I think it's a long time since we've conceded, and we're scoring goals, but we will continue to work really hard, harder than ever to continue that.
Have you told players to shoot more? Because I think the number of shots we had last week was the highest in the last 12 months.
I've not told them to shoot more, no, because I don't want them shooting on sight, but we've created some real solid patterns and ways of how we're going to score. I think the players are really clear with that. They're becoming habit now. You'll hopefully start to see a team with real identity.
How do you think you'll do with the expectation? Because it is going to rise with every good result.
Well, I grew up at a club that was expected to win every week, so I'm sure I can handle that. I don't want to be a team. I want to be a team that is expected to win. Said when we go into the Luton game, I want to be favourites for that game. That means we've had a good start to the season. These are all things that I've been comfortable growing up around. Now it's my job to try and portray that to the players and how we do that, and that's no complacency, consistent with the basics, and continue to be hard to beat.